What's up?
What's up, Mr. Man?
Break stuff down for you guys. They're set up with you guys being after my 5th hour.
I'm used to being before and trying to get it after.
I liked it.
But to take longer. We'd have more fun this way.
Oh, you know it. All we doing here is have fun.
Yep. Have fun and learn. Nothing.
Take out all of the questions, right?
I was pretty much all like
What?
the last one was a tricky one.
What are you talking about?
Now, what are you talking about?
Oh. What? I was trying to straighten out my folder, so I didn't finish right now. I think I didn't know the thought. Like, when you say, oh my god, all is like, have you, Mr. Man, have you played Among Us yet?
Of course I have. Dude, get in the game club on Discord.
Oh.
You kidding me? I'm a god. I played last night. I killed 5 people before they even found the first body.
That's what I did in lunch today. I killed them all before they could even find Drake's body. That's hard.
The key is when you're a crew member, you can't be afraid to die. You gotta take one for the team sometimes. You gotta set up that imposter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just over here hanging out, no big deal. Don't know if you're the imposter or not, but you know, if you are, you can kill me right now if you want to. Oh, you did? Oh, look. That guy's right over there, you saw you before.
On Friday, we should have an Among Us party.
Let's do it. Yeah, I played with a bunch of sophomores this weekend over Discord. I don't know if the mic thing's an improvement. Having them all on the mic going, oh my god, I think it was you, Freaking headache. But a lot easier to do than typing, especially if you're playing on your phone. I don't mess around though, I go for my PC. All that stuff. Mouse to click. When I play. Get the RGB lights going, you know, gamer zone. Turning my Scorpion chair. Full monitor headset. Alright, so today we're doing more of the same yesterday. I'm going to re-explain what all this stuff is that I'm looking for. That way you're comfortable with it because, well, you lucky ducks don't have to meet with me tomorrow. Because most of you don't. You will have to meet with me next week and you'll have to do all this. Plus, what we do between now and then, right? What we do on Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, and Monday. So I want to make sure you're comfortable with this. Also, there's some of you, we tried like 7 times. Like you and Paul Wagonock are like, always like, I'm available. I'm like, well, I'm not. And then like, I'm available. And you're like, oh, I can't. So what's going to happen is we're going to do makeup for you tomorrow, right? So you don't have to do any of this for tomorrow. This stuff from last time, I want to see, okay? And all that was required last time, I believe, I'm going to actually have it, was I needed you to do a couple of random ones from classroom, right? Your call. And then plain, either addition, subtraction, or multiplication. Okay? One of those things. That was last time. Will that? So let's see if we have people checking in. We do. What's up, Jordan? Leah was here like super early, and then I told her to come back, but I think she might have done the I'm here and then dipped move, and they didn't hear that she showed up way too early. It was like an hour early. On the wrong schedule. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. She was here yesterday for cheer stuff, or not cheer, dance. Let's see. Jordan, Haley, Sebastian, Kaylee. Let me know where you at, where you be. Same thing for you, Leah. But anyway, Hey, people. Remember, these are the 3 things I need. I'll go back through and explain them today. If you don't need explanation, you can head on out. Just make sure you're ready for tomorrow. The reason I'm doing this and giving you time today is because I was worried that you might have an avalanche of homework coming down on you right now. Now we're longer class periods. I would imagine most teachers, are given more homework than they were before, because now they have longer classes. They're learning more material. It's good? Okay, awesome. That's good to hear. I didn't know if it would or wouldn't, and I knew if I get into a situation where I've got you guys having to choose between do homework for Mr. Math homework, right, that I can do later, and even if it's a bad grade, I can fix it, or should I spend my time doing homework for a teacher that is going to give me a 0 and it's permanent, right, if I don't? which one's gonna win, right? It's not because you guys hate me necessarily, it might be part of it, but like, you're gonna choose the other one, right? It's just a smart decision. So I want to make sure that I took that decision kind of out of your hands by giving you time in class today to get stuff done. That way it's less of a toss-up, right? I figured that's the only way I can really compete with that given the current system. So, gonna give you class how to work on portfolio today, make sure we're good to go and know what we need to expect, make sure we're feeling comfortable. That's the idea. So it looks like Jordan and Haley, we're here. No Sebastian, no Kaylee, no Leah yet. I know Leah checked in early. I'll see if I count that or not. I don't know. But that's the idea. So I'm going to run through what's expected for you guys next week, / what's expected for them tomorrow. Okay. So explain these two, right? Y equals x plus 5 versus y minus x equals 5. The reason they're in quotations is because I just made that up, right? Like, I could put a 7 here, I could put a 7 here, I could put a 10, whatever. It doesn't matter. The idea that I'm looking at, and again, you can change it however you want, is that these are saying the same thing. They're just saying it in a different way. It's like saying that I went to the store yesterday versus saying after I got to the school, I went to the store, right? The same thing at the end of the day, just a different way of saying it. This is saying x plus 5 equals y. In other words, this number is always 5 bigger than the other number. You dig? Right? And this will be the bigger number, right? This number is always 5 bigger than x. Whereas this one is saying the distance between those two numbers is 5. Same idea, right? One's 5 bigger than the other. Here's one, here's the other. They're 5 apart. They're 5 apart is what that's saying. Right? This one just cuts the chase a lot faster. So talk about the difference between them, right? And why they're basically saying the same thing. You get what I'm stepping in there? Yeah? You okay? All right. Yeah, okay. Which map do I pay attention to? Yeah. That one. Anyway, here, explain why x minus 5 equals 3 can be better shown on a number line, right? Here's not a number line. X minus 5 equals 3. There it is, no number line. Right? X, back 5, 3, distance between x and 5 is 3. Ooh, did I screw that up? I did screw that up. I screwed it all up. You got to think about what you're doing, Mr. Mac. Distance between x and 5 is 3. There's x. There's 5. The distance is 3. There we go. Erase the wrong 3. So that can be shown on a number line. Makes sense. What does x have to be? It's going to be one answer, lots of answers. What is this? Nothing. Yeah? You say 8. Give me some of the answers. Yeah. 8.
Oh, you.
What other?
1, 4.
Kids, if I told you, think of a number, add 5 to it, what number do you get? Now, hold down your head, go back to the first number, add a different number to it, see if you get the same number. No way, you can't do that, right? You can't take a number, add 5 to it and get something. Take the same number and add 6 to it and get the... That doesn't work, right? Same thing here. Take something away and get 3. Well, 9 minus 5 ain't going to get you 3. 8 minus 5 will, but no other number will. Just 8. There's only one set of numbers that's going to work. This guy right here. We can show that on a number line. Now look at this guy. Y minus x equals 3. What does this mean, first of all? Yeah?
Question 3. No matter how you do it, if you do 2 and it is 1, 3, 4, 1.
Infinitely many possibilities, right? Because it's any two numbers, doesn't specify which, as long as they are separated by 3, right? It's not any two numbers, right? Any two numbers could be literally anything, right? 1,000,002, right? It's any two numbers as long as they are separated by 3. That includes this, but also includes a bunch more, right? Very quickly, that line just gets colored in with all the possibilities, which is why we have this. We know how to graph that. We don't need to move the x over and think about what's the y-intercept and what's the slope necessarily. We know all numbers separated by 3 is going to be there, right? 0 and 3 is one of them. And then the relationship between x and y is 1 and 1, right? See, and for both of these guys. X isn't going to increase faster, y isn't going to increase faster, they're both going to go up and down together. So, there it is. So explain that, what's going on there. Kind of along with that, we just talked about it, the different parts of this, right? We haven't explicitly talked about M or B. You've seen it before. But you know that the B, there is a B? The B is going to have to do with how far the numbers are apart, right? At least initially. And then if this is anything that isn't 1, then it's going to change the relationship between x and y, right? So if I have something like this tells me the relationship is initially separated by 1.
Yep.
So 0 and 1, right? That's going to be a number that works. And then this tells me the relationship going forward. We can either think of it as every time this goes up by 1, this goes up by 2/3, so 1 and 2/3. Goes up by 1, goes up to 2 and a third. And then this goes up by 1, now it comes out to nice 3, right? Or you can think of it, look, I'll cut to the chase. X is going to go up by 3, rise over run, y over x, yeah. Rise is up and down, that's the y value. X is left and right, that's the x value, right? This is going to go up by 2. 1 to 3, that's up by 2. 0 to 3, that's up by 3. Look, it turns out nice. Yo.
Another way I thought about this with the y, it looks like there's connection between x and that's how you also.
These two and these two go together?
Yeah.
So that's your association. It's not necessarily that's why it works, but it's a way to help you like see it better, right? And remember. Yeah, that works. That's valid.
Basically now too.
Yeah, it looks like those go together and those go together. Yeah, sort of. Potato, potato, right? Maybe you see 2 and x go together. The key is to know that the slope, or m, is rise over run, and rise is just the distance between your y values, and run is the distance between your x values, right? Distance is subtraction. Y values are how far apart we are vertically, right? Imagine something on the y-axis versus something up here. How far they are apart, how far they've gone up. Left to right, 2 numbers here and here, right? How far they go over, left to right. That's all this is. So of course this number goes with the x and x, right? So that's what I want you to explain. That's what's due next week, plus the new stuff that we're going to do, right? I would get started now and not think, oh, I'll do it last minute for a couple reasons. 1, maybe you have a bunch of homework comes down on you. Right now, you said things are good, maybe not. Who knows, right? 2, I'm giving you the time to do it. 3, if you get it done earlier, yeah, you get to play video games. No, not that. Like, then I can read it, which means when we do our conference, it won't be, okay, you submitted this an hour ago, I haven't read it. Can you tell me what it's all about? And then you have to do a lot of talking. Nobody likes that. You guys are like, oh my God, give me out here. So the sooner you get it done, the quicker I can read it. And then you've already kind of done the talking, right? What you're typing. And I go, okay, here's what I thought, right? Get you out of there. Don't forget to sign up for a time if you need to, right, for tomorrow. I've got stuff up there. I emailed you a link. Sign up. Another thing. If you have the money, or if you know somebody that does, you can steal from them. You don't want it to find you. If you don't have the money, you can't find anything to steal from. I'll have some eventually. I'll give you some. I'm going to put graph paper in that and get it to you. Then you can use it as a binder to keep your notes. What's up? Sebastian. Oh, hey, Leah. Sebastian and Leah. Sebastian, we're meeting tomorrow. Make sure you sign up for a time. Make sure you've got the stuff that you need to go for that. Remember, for you and Camden, I need to see addition, subtraction, or multiplication, your choice. Explain it to me. Show different ways of doing the problem. Make it your own. Right? Make sure you explain it. And then also pick some problems from Google Classroom to do. Everybody else that's at home, make sure you sign up for a time slot for all this stuff too. Yeah, in fact, Sebastian, you owe me this stuff too. So get together with somebody that knows what they're doing. Get you caught up. B-Day people, I only need to see if you're Camden. So just need to see me next week with all this stuff plus new stuff. We good? Rad. I'm gonna let these guys go. Sebastian, if you have any questions, I'm gonna keep the camera on and I'm gonna stay here more or less. I'm gonna walk around the classroom, make sure kids are confident and feeling Gucci. But in general, everybody on A-Day can leave. So no Kaylee today, but everybody else. Leah's showing up an hour early for class. Alright. You feeling good about being able to explain that and go with it? Yeah? You good? Yeah. Okay. How you feeling about this stuff? I hope it's not like homework by another name. I hope it's not overwhelming. Okay. Is it just in the I gotta do it now and that sucks, or is it like I don't know what to do? Okay, give it a shot. How many let's talk about it. Yeah, those 3 things right there are what's required for next week. Okay, along with whatever we do between now and then. Think about tomorrow. These.
I
Okay. You want, guys?
What's the minus? Wait, what do you have to do again?
Either addition, subtraction, or multiplication.
I can just do one, or
Yeah, you just do one.
they're like
Well, you can make up your own. Like, so if you're gonna do addition, I'd probably do something with like, it's gonna cause you to carry, and then you gotta explain what that is, right?
oh yeah.
Another way to think of that is 70 plus 30. You know this is gonna be more than 10, 5 and 8, right? So it's 10, and then 3 more, because 5, 5, and then 3 left over. This is very obviously 110. Or, yeah, 110, so that's 113. I've been trying. And again, show why you're allowed to do that. Why you're allowed to think of this, as 30 and 5 and 50 and 7 instead of 35 and 50. Subtraction. Yeah. Maybe talk about distance, because that's kind of a tough problem. But not if you realize not if you realize that I'll just increase him to 30, and as long as I do it to both, the distance stays the same, right? I bet you know the answer to that. All day, every day, right? Isn't that nuts? Freaking wild. 45. No questions asked. You can also see it like this. I don't know if it's as good. Minus 20 is, numbers are 50 minus 5 is 45. No. Or you do multiplication. Let me show you over here. I put it as a Twitter link, but like Twitter's blocked for some reason on Google Classroom. So I'll just show you what they did. I think it's pretty brilliant. It's going to take a little while to wrap your brain around, but eventually it could make multiplying by numbers that are close to 25 or close to 75 really easy. Like multiplying by 50 ain't so bad. Multiply by 100 divided by 2, right? Multiplying by 100 is super easy, but like 25, 75 numbers around there, kind of weird. So I gave you this one. And again, you don't have to write about this. You can do a much easier one, right? But I think this is pretty dope. So the person online that I was reading about, they're like, okay, this is about 90 times 75. It's not. We're going to have to go back to that, right? We're going to have to fix it. It's not the same thing, but it's about. And the reason he likes 75 is because 75 is just 25 times 3. And we're used to 25s because we deal with quarters all the time, right? So I don't know what 90 quarters would be in dollars, but what's 80 quarters? 20 bucks, right? Have I shown you guys this one? So in other words, 80 quarters would be 2,000, right? Or 20.00. Yeah, I think I did. I might have. Maybe it was online or something. I don't know.
Oh, you did do something. You did do this, but.
Oh, it was a different one? Okay. And then there's 10 more quarters, right? How much money is 10 quarters? I love when I ask that because I can tell you're thinking in terms of quarters. Because if you didn't think in terms of quarters, that's the problem I'm asking, right? It's 250, right? I mean, you don't have to think more than, yeah. I love that. It's like I get inside your brains. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I love that crap. I love that. I know exactly what you're thinking. Rent free, baby. So 90 quarters is this. Here, just to make it mathematically valid. But we want 75 times 90, right? 250 times 3. You dig? 250 times 3, 6,000. So this is 6750. But here's the problem. That's not what we actually wanted, right? And that's definitely the hardest part. The next part's kind of weird, but as you get used to it, it can actually be really easy. So I would rather that be an 89, right? So what I really want is like 89 times 75. Again, it's not perfect yet,
But it's getting closer? Not yet. Not yet. Because I know what 89 times 75 is.
I don't.
You know this, don't you? 90 groups of 75 is 6750. So what's 89 groups going to be? What are we going to do that number?
6, 6,
You're thinking too hard. It's going to take away 75, right? One less group. You dig? Now you're trying to do 6750 minus 75 in your head, aren't you? What could you do instead?
Get them. Subtract.
Subtract what?
170. 75.
Uh-huh. Well, what could you do instead to make it easier? Because subtracting 75 is going to be a pain.
Subtract 50.
Subtract 50 and then 25?
700 and you do minus 25.
You totally could do that. Subtract 50 and get 6700, right? And then subtract 75, 6675. What I did earlier today, and you might like better, I subtract 100 and then add back 25. This minus 100, 6650, add back 25, 6675. For me, that's easier. I don't know. Now we're really close. What do we got to do now to make this match that? Well, we need this, right? So what are we going to have to do this time? We're going to add 75? Think about what it says. You got to think. 75 groups of 89, 76 groups of 89. Not adding 75. I have 75 groups of this.
That's 76.
I got 76 groups of that.
Oh,
What is it?
89.
He's right. Why is he right?
75.
Oh,
You see it now? Go for it. Explain it.
89 is the same, but the 75.
Yeah, right. This is how many groups we have. This is the thing we have groups of, right? So this is one more group of 89 than this guy, right? You dig? So we got to add on 89. Now, I'm not going to add on 89. I'm going to add on 100, subtract 11. Adding on 100 is easy. And then subtracting 11 ain't no thing. Boom. Now, one way to cut this in half, like this work in half, because this is kind of weird to think about, right? We're moving back and forth trying to get it back to this. I subtracted 75 and added 89, didn't I? What's something I could do instead of having to do those two steps, subtracting 75 and adding 89? What could I do? Why?
You can do 75 groups, 89.
So subtract 75. What are you seeing?
I'm saying there's 75 groups of 89. That's how you can subtract it.
So from this line down to here, you'd subtract 89? Or are you saying something else? Which line are we looking at to start out with?
The
Second?
No, one there.
The third, okay. So starting here, 89 times 75, to figure that out, we could have done what? Did I lose you? I lost me too. Camden, what are you saying?
Hey, subtracting and adding, you can add 4.
Once you get good at this, you can figure out these numbers first, right? I'm going to need to add 75 to get back to here, one more group of 75, and subtract 89. I don't know. Once you get used to that thinking, you can be like, oh, well, that's just the same thing as add 14. Okay, hold that in my brain. I need to add 14. And then you go and do this. Because the quarter thing wasn't so bad once you get used to it. That's pretty easy. Eventually. And then you just add 14, right? I think it could take some work to get there, but like eventually you could be like, holy crap. Because like 89 times 76, that's a tough problem. I mean, there are other ways to do it. Like I could do like 100. Ooh, this is tough. So 760 minus 76. Something like that. Are you digging? Times 10, right? Then one more. But that's even kind of hard, you know? I don't know. I could break it up and probably figure it out eventually. I just thought this way was interesting. The quarters method and then seeing this big 420, 69 IQ play. Because I never thought about like kind of moving it back and forth on either side. I don't know, just something to look at. If you want to look at it more, check out that Twitter link when the school allows you to click it. Kobe. So yeah, I don't know. If you want to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, right, I'm giving you the choice. You'd think all kids would use addition, right? Because addition's so easy. But that's not what I'm seeing mostly. I still see it, like, God bless them, right? I mean, come on. You do you. But it's interesting, and in pretty much optional math class, people are choosing the harder problems. I think your boy might be onto something. Get out of their way. Let them do math. Let them learn. They seem to like it. Speaking of interesting problems, Troy Baker, one of my kids I play Among Us with, he's part of Game Club, submitted this the other day. And again, because TikTok, for some ungodly reason, is blocked on the school computers, I don't know why, I'll play it for you here so you can hear it.
I put 20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit. I put 20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit.
You shut up and write about it, okay?
I put 20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit.
Both people put money in, and they both came out with more. What do you think? What, Camden? God!
Do you want to know?
I want to know.
Money?
What?
You want to know who lost the money?
Who lost the money? The guy talking or the other guy?
Said, I put 20.
It's the guy talking.
Yeah.
Okay, great. He's not allowed to say anymore. Somebody else, if you want to add on to what he's saying, you can explain what he's thinking. Yeah.
You put in 20, the other guy put in 30. You put in 30, then you 40, but the guy.
Something like that, yeah. If I was sitting here and I didn't already know the answer, I don't think I'd completely understand what you're saying, but you were so close to having a perfect explanation. Write about it. That way you can get that perfect explanation. This took me a couple of seconds.
You put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit. I put 20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit.
Right, because he puts in 30, takes away 40, the other guy puts in 20, takes away 30, right? Come on. Look at this kid's eyes. Write about it. Calm down, it's math class. Jesus Christ. Freaking nerd.
Did the other guy lose money? I'm so confused.
I love it. I love it. It messed with my mind for a while. These kids are embarrassing me over here. Freaking algebra students being like, oh, I see the answer right away. Shut up. Yeah, it took me like 5 minutes.
20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit.
Let him listen, then we'll talk about your way.
I put 20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit. I put 20, you put 20, I buy the whole stack for 30, and we both made $10 profit.
Yeah.
Another way of thinking is because the guy put in 20, but he got 30. Another way of thinking that profit.
Your first explanation was better. I know what you mean. Choose your words carefully, okay?
I'm already confused.
Already confused? We got half the room confused and half the room feeling like 420, 69 IQ. What, Camden?
He puts in 20, but he receives 30.
No, he puts in
I get that.
50.
What do you mean he puts in 50? He never said the word 50.
No, he puts in 20 and then buys it for 30.
So he puts in 50 total. How much does he take home?
40.
So he lost 10, right? And the other guy ended up with 10 more. That's where it went, right? Again, that's like a little balancing equation thing going on there. And it's weird because you don't know the initial amount the guy has in his pocket, right? He could have millions in his pocket. Who knows, right? So you have to think about how much money you put in versus how much money you actually got out, right? That's an interesting question. I like it. That was fun. Troy Baker, everybody. Like I said, these freaking nerds sitting at home finding stuff like this on the TikToks. God. We should just have you guys do homework. You guys learn so much more then. Anyway, you feel like you know what you need to do for both the stuff? You feeling decent? Feeling good? Yeah. Okay. Feeling confident?
So you write one of those things.
Right. Let me clarify. 3 things. You need all 3 for next one.
Each on a page or one?
Separate page. Okay.
I guess they're all like connected, but yeah, separate page. In one's addition, one's subtraction.
Whoa. This guy's hurting himself. Alright. So, Camden owes me for last week. He didn't meet me. Right? And one of the things you had to do last week was either show me addition, subtraction, or multiplication,
Oh.
right? You don't worry about that for next week, okay? My geometry class, I'm having to go back and do stuff, but if you want to do more, you can do that. So kind of all I need, minimum. Again, it's dangerous if you play the minimum game, because if you don't hit it all, all your shots, right, not so good. It's good to do side stuff as well, right? Stuff on Google Classroom or find something like this, right? But the 3 I need is this for next week. Plus, it's not next week yet, plus whatever we do. You want to get a head start? What would I name? I don't know, be creative. Difference between this and this? I don't know. You do you, man. Yeah, fine. Makes sense to me.
What would you would think different?
Nah, that'd be cool.
You would rather, do
Ooh, what a weenie. No, that's okay. If you want graph paper, I've got graph paper up here, and I've got pens and stuff, so if you want to do the math there and then take a picture of it, that might be easier. As we go further in the year, and this is especially true for my geometry kids, like, oh my god, with diagrams, doing it on bulb is not ideal, right? So it's going to be a lot of, here's a picture of my work, here's me talking. Not trying to type equations. That's tricky. Why I got myself a drawing pad, like an electronic one, to go with my computer, so when I make homework assignments, when I did, I'd write it off and pop it on the screen nice and neat. Clean up my handwriting, make it look professional. Bulb doesn't really play mathematical. What?
I'm still confused.
That's okay.
Say I can.
Better thoroughly explain.
I'm doing multiplication.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're gonna.
I'm not. It's not gonna affect your grade. I'll think differently of you. Be disappointed. I'm not mad. Disappointed. You ever get that? From your parents?
Oh, I get the.
I'm not mad. Just disappointed.
Yeah, I get that.
Band director did to me. High school. I've run through a brick wall for this man. Right? Go home, get my drumsticks. Play like 5 hours straight. All of my. Never again! I got good. What's that? Got newer shoes in here. Your favorite? You're the favorite?
You just tears your shoes up.
Oh, so he's smarter. Tears his shoe up so he gets new ones faster. Yeah?
Tear your shoes up, guys.
Like that.
All right. 2 of them.
Hungry.
Maybe you want some plastic in your diet. Oh, go ahead.
Soybeans, do they?
Okay, man. That's why they get shoes. Oh, would
He's
you
grown
care?
boy.
This is why mine are just sneaky.
I'm sitting here, but not sitting here just, you're not bothering me if you ask a question, okay? Except Camden, he's always bothering me. But if you need help, raise your hand, and I'll call on you when I see fit. What, Camden?
Would you care if I did 90? 25.
Here's what you need to do. When you pick the numbers that you're going to do it, I want you to explain why you chose those numbers.
I'm going to do 74.
Why?
Because it's close to 25.
Oh, you're going to do a quarter thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
The second number doesn't, the first number doesn't matter, right?
I don't know, does it?
It does. 1,095. If I did 100, I just did 100.
Would be a very interesting question now, would it? Imagine you're a math teacher and you come up, imagine you're me, okay? You got a bunch of freshman boys sitting here and you're like, okay, today we're doing 74 times 100. Let me show you how to do this. You can think of the 74 as quarters. Be like, what are you smoking? 7400, move on. Okay? You gotta, the reason the 89 problem was good is because you didn't know the answer to begin with. Right? I get that all the time. Why are we doing subtraction like this? It's like, I know 12 minus 7 is 5. You don't need to move it to 10 and 5 to figure that out. You know what I mean? I get that. But then I'm going to ask you, instead of 12 minus 7, I'm going to ask you 72 minus 27, and you have no idea, right? I just want to start there because I wanted to give you something to check it with, right? You guys don't think about why I'm teaching the way I'm teaching you. It annoys the crap out of me. He's like, oh, this is easy, this is dumb, why are we doing it that way? And then I give you a real problem that I was actually preparing you for, and you're like, what? How are we supposed to do this?
Camden's like that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But like, think like me. Like, when I make that problem, why did I do it that way? Tell me about it, you know? Yeah, that 89 wasn't an accident.
Max, are you okay?
Me?
No, I am.
Oh. This is gonna be great having him and me in the class at the same time.
Yeah, are you good over there too?
I'm great. I'm great. Yeah. Everyone always asks, why is Mr. Mac doing blah, 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 not how is Mr. Mac doing? I'm invisible right now. Oh, you can't, you're not even seeing it.
How can I see you? You're invisible.
Shut up. Hey, look at this. Boom.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a fun class. You know what's great about algebra, and again, maybe it's not great for you guys because you guys don't get to get rid of me. But for me, if you're in this algebra class, in theory, if you pass, I guess if you don't pass, we don't have to worry about it. But if you do pass, I get you for geometry. 2 years in a row, baby. I'm the only geometry teacher unless things change next year.
Okay.
But we'll see. Yeah, you're not getting rid of me. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll go and teach trig or something next year and go back with my old geometry kids that I'm missing out on this year. We'll just have to see how it plays out, you know. But that's why I like teaching algebra, because I get to teach you guys twice in a row.
Imagine he's in this, but he just goes down.
I'm just dodging you guys the rest of the 4 years you're in high school.
Mac and algebra, then he goes down.
Nope, never again. Not with those guys. Anything with those guys.
So what do you think?
Yes. I'm gonna sit here and eat. Actually, I'm not gonna eat pizza. I gotta take off my mask to do that. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I'm not gonna risk it for me either.
Is that your cup?
It's not a very good mask then.
Mountain Dew bottle. I didn't know it was a background or not. Mountain Dew bottle.
It's real, baby. Green screen and Mountain Dew bottle onto my desk.
Doritos. I like the one that we did, and it said you can't have football. No, I'm jumping in. How dare you? It's 16. You should know that that's. Call me a shoe, man. It's gone. Next thing you ever backwards.
You don't actually have to raise your hand until I call on you. Okay? I'm not gonna see you. What do you want?
Can I take a look at your order?
That thing is away. Let's see. I've done it a couple times today. That one's not very descriptive, but that might be the only one I have now. In theory, I do it on paper. That way, when you ask to see it, I can hand it to you. But problem is your boy likes to throw stuff away.
So for this,
Yeah.
so can I just show the difference?
Like, they stand for the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just same thing, but different method.
Sure. Yeah. I think you. Yeah. I think we're on the same page. Don't be afraid to use Desmos. You want a graph or something? You just make a graph on there and then screenshot. That works out really well for. Desmos is going to be used a lot in here, I think. Pretty cool program. Guy that makes it is pretty cool too. I know him through Twitter. He's I follow a bunch of math teachers on Twitter. Dan Meyer. He is, because like there are lots of math teachers in the world, and you can imagine not all of them view math the same way I do, or teach it the same way I do.
Miss Wayne for our lesson. We recorded ourselves. We had to watch them. I never really watched them. Just trying to figure.
Sure. I mean, everybody's just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Including her, I'm sure.
But even the videos, even when I'm doing those, pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that. Like, learning is not something that school is really optimized for. And then when you take away the signs of learning from a teacher and the students, right? I'm getting good grades, I'm jumping through these hoops, eyes on you, then like nobody knows what they're doing. And I think coronavirus just kind of revealed that, you know? So, and again, I feel for these teachers, because like if Miss Wayne was taking video of herself, then it must have been through like the webcam from her like school computer, unless she had her own.
There's that one thing where she like wrote like you on time.
Sure, yeah. Document camera or something.
I know she didn't just like turn her head upside down.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, like everybody's scrambling. I'm lucky that I spent years touring around, being a sound guy / drummer in a bunch of bands, and that's why I have a bunch of mics, and I have computer equipment from doing recording, and video cameras from when I did I recorded class before this year. Like I recorded all my classes last year on YouTube. I did that before coronavirus, so I've just kind of was ready for this. You know what I mean? More so than most people. No shame on them. Yeah.
You said you're doing your face reveal?
Yeah, at 1,000 subscribers.
So like,
that's not gonna happen though, because we're probably gonna move off of YouTube, and go to Google Meets. Unfortunately.
I watched your old video.
You what?
I watched your old video.
Oh, so you already know my face reveal? Is that what you're saying? Oh, come on.
It's probably changed. And your Instagram.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. You guys seen the toilet video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what toilet video?
No, what are you talking about? What?
Is x minus 5 equals 3 x y on the same page?
Good point. I see what you're saying. Hold on a second. Oh yeah. This dot. Yeah. Okay, we're good. I knew I'd screwed up the numbers earlier, so I thought maybe that these weren't the same question, but they are. X minus 5 equals 3. Something minus something equals 3. Yeah, same question.
I'll make sure if you did do it differently or the same one.
Yeah, it's all. No, you can do it differently. Anything in quotations means you can change the numbers up, but just hopefully you see the pattern. Right?
I did see the pattern.
Yeah. Okay.
Just want to make sure.
Right. You know, you can't do x minus 5 equals 3 and y minus x equals 12. Right. That
I can show you the pattern of how you became my brother. Let's pass it over again.
favorite question. I just printed out a thing. 6 hour ends at 44, so 6 more minutes. Time flies, man.
Hey, 6 more minutes in the class.
What?
6 more minutes in the class.
That's, I don't know, man. Sorry, I hope I was right. Yeah. 44, yeah.
Think I'd be able to do that?
Okay. Well, the reason I wanted to give you time in here to do it is because if you didn't feel like you were doing it correctly, that's what?
For the top one, does it always +5 or gonna be?
Well, you want to make sure that these two are literally the same.
Oh yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah.
Like I just did an example.
Yeah, the quotations are there because, you know, I chose a specific example. Really, you're showing it for general.
Yeah.
Like, if we wanted to be better mathematicians, what we'd probably write is I'd write something like this. Explain the difference between y equals x plus a and y minus x equals a. Where, you know, x and y has to do with coordinate plane, right? You don't screw around with those. But a is what we call a parameter. It's still a variable, but it's to show you that, look, as long as this number is the same here and here, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Right? It's kind of strange, because again, a is just a variable. It's no different than x and y, but we know x and y are kind of having to do with this. And a, we would call a parameter, a special kind of variable where you just gotta know. Yeah.
So without if I put it right here.
I mean, sure, I hear what you're saying there. So, first of all, what does this say? Remember, subtraction is distance, yeah? So tell me that. Two numbers, their distance is 5, right? They're separated by 5.
So you want me to put more?
And then this one doesn't say that because it's not subtraction. It could be if we rearranged it, but the way they phrase this sentence, right, is that this number is always 5 bigger than the first number. And that's two different ways to say the same thing. I'm always 5 bigger than you. We're always 5 apart. You see what I'm saying? Right? Break it down into the English.
That's 5 inches, centimeters, or years?
Shut up. Watermelon. Elephant, obviously. This kid.
Mr. Mac, what's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport, hockey.
Hockey.
St. Louis Blues. Stanley Cup champions.
Blues?
Defending Stanley Cup champions until yesterday when Tampa Bay won. Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Because why the Blues?
I'm from St. Louis.
So, but what happened next is
I don't know why. I do it all on a word process.
what? I don't watch hockey. I
used to really like baseball. I was actually pretty good in high school, but then I stopped growing. And that was the end of that.
I'm a first baseman now.
Are you lucky? Oh, okay.
I am too. So there's always chances.
I was really good at hitting, and I was an excellent center fielder slash football. So I had the full package, man. And then I stopped growing at 5'7" 3/4. So that was it for me.
Yeah, I'm just 5'3". 5'8", what's called that? I don't know. I'm short and compact. Bigger.
First base works, man. Small strike zone. Then they put it right over the plate for you, smack it out of the park. You just gotta get swole. Get those gains.
If I find my mom's old Phoenix Coyotes jerseys, should I wear that?
Oh, those are dope, man. Like the Navajo design.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are sick. Howdy suck, but they're probably gonna get moved to Houston, but yeah, those jerseys are sick. I used to wear Blues jerseys every Friday. I'll bust those out for the winter. Big. I used to be, and no joke, I got bored of the championship. I had 3 in my lifetime, and I was just like, this is fine. Slowed me downhill from here. I went to college, wasn't on TV as much, didn't have as much time, then got back into hockey, which has always been my first love.
Lots of people are like, did you ever play hockey?
I didn't know.
I always wanted to try it.
Hockey's really fun. I love to skate. I go ice skating all the time.
I
Stuff like
can
that.
roller skate, but not ice skating with the Mighty Ducks.
Charlie Conway.
One reason why I want to learn how to do hockey.
Coach Bombay. What made you want to do hockey? What? What's that?
Punch him.
Oh yeah.
Would you be a goalie? I'd probably goalie though, yeah.
That'd be cool. You gotta be a little crazy to be a goalie. Who wants to get smacked by a puck? Guys
I mean, goalie gloves just remind me of first baseman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, I never really got to play.
A couple of things I'm playing at you.
But
Straight in the nets and, you know.
Why wear all that equipment. The problem with hockey is kind of problem with golf. In order to get involved, you have to have a lot of money to buy all the equipment. But that's why baseball, you can play all around the world. That's why I didn't get into it. Not enough money, not enough time to go, drive to a rink or whatever. You see all these stars and stuff, they've all gone to private schools, and their mom and dad are filthy rich. Because otherwise, you don't even get in the door to play hockey. They don't have equipment. If they're breaking all the time, those are $100 a piece. Want to be a goalie? Good God, right?
Football, man.
Goalie equipment's expensive. Now imagine buying that like your parents do when you grow, right? Start at a goalie age 10 or something, right? 2 years from now, needs whole new equipment. Yeah, you don't want to skimp on it because then your kids end up with question, great. Why have they up on that helmet? You could grow out of it. Tough sport to get into.
You do it later than you're older.
That's true, but then you gotta find everybody else, know how to skate and all that. It's not like baseball, it's like you've been walking your whole life, walking out in the outfield thing. Learn how to skate and all that.
How to run.
Yeah. I mean, or at
Sometimes
least
you
you focus on less.
Don't
hockey is
follow the
all
ball,
over the
then
world.
you don't know where it's at.
Alright, get out of here. I'll see you tomorrow, Camden.
Art time.
Make sure you
Got
sign
it.
time, okay?
Camden's getting his mouth.
Camden's guy.
Dude, I literally biology.
He lost $10. And the other day
What?
game. Yeah.
Camden, you have to leave. Get out of my classroom.
I know.
No more math. There, man. Evan Scott.
That was fun.